Hello everyone and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, we're going to play some Simic Vivid. So with Lorwyn Eclipsed, we got a few Vivid cards that got introduced in Standard. Vivid is an ability that says, basically, it has an additional well, not additional trigger, an added benefit for each color permanent we have on board. So we have the Shinestriker, which is, whenever it comes into play, we draw a card equal to the number of permanents, a number of colors we have on permanent. So if we have 5 different colors, we draw 5 cards. We got 1 color, we draw 1 card. So it's a 6 mana 3/3 that could draw us 1 card at the very least, because at the very least it's blue. Or if we have all color, we draw 5 cards. We also have Aurora Awakener, 7 mana 6/6, or 7 mana 7/7 actually, trample. That's Vivid. Reveal the top X cards of our library. Reveal the top card until we reveal X permanent cards and put all those cards into play, where X is the number of colors that we have. So if you have 1 color, reveal the top until you get 1 permanent and put it into play. If you have 5, reveal the top of your library until you get 5 permanents and put them all into play. So Aurora Awakener is actually the beast in this deck. But we have another very important Vivid card in Bloom Tender. If you remember this card back in the days from Lorwyn, 2 mana 1/1. Tap out. For each color amount permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. So at the very least, it taps for a green. But if you have a blue, it also taps for a blue. If you have a blue creature or blue permanent, it taps for a blue. If you have a red permanent, it taps for a red. Black permanent, it taps for a black. So if you have all colors from amongst permanents, we tap to add 5 mana. Well, how do we get 5 colors into our board? Well, there's a way to cheat. We have Leyline of the Guildpact, the 0 mana Leyline on the turn 0. That just says each non-land permanent we control is all color, and lands we control is a very basic land type. So this just does it. We also have a little bit of trick in Tam Mindful First Year, a 2 mana 2/2 that says each other creature you control has X-proof from each of its color. So it does protect all of our creatures as well, but the tap ability on Tam, target creature you control becomes all color. So we can use that to tap it on maybe the Bloom Tender, and the Bloom Tender can tap to get all colors. Also, we can get the Vivid triggers going. So that is the idea of this deck. But of course, Simic, but mostly green. We get our green ramp in the Badgermole package, and that's the standard idea that I want to kind of pop off with the deck. Along with that, we have a little bit of addition to this deck. I wanted to add the Wistfulness to see how good this new card, the Invoke, is in the current Standard. Of course, Wistfulness is pretty useful to fight Star Cages and things of that nature, so that's why it's in the deck. It's a 6/5. You invoke for either 2 blue or 2 green, and then if you cast 2 green, then you can exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast it for 2 blue, draw 2 cards and discard a card. And if you cast it for 5 that has 2 green and 2 blue, you get both of those. So that's kind of the idea of this deck. But the hope of this deck is to land an Aurora Awakener and then continue landing more Aurora Awakeners. In the earlier version of the deck, I tried a few other Vivid cards. They did not pan out. So namely, the other Vivid card that I wanted to try was the Wildvine Plumber, the 7 mana 6/5 Reach Trampler that could be, 2 mana if we have all color. It might seem pretty good to have a 2 mana 6/5, but honestly, in current Standard, 2 mana 6/5 is trash, right? 1 mana 7/7 couldn't cut it, so 2 mana 6/5 definitely is not that good anymore. It's good, but not game breaking. So I want some game breaking cards like Aurora Awakener into another Aurora Awakener plus Ouroboroid, and we can chain through that. That's kind of the idea of this deck. So let's talk about the deck list, right? Turn 1, we got our Leyline of the Guildpact. Turn 2, we got 4 Gene Pollinator and 4 Llanowar Elves. Turn 3, we have 4 Bloom Tender, 4, this is turn 0, turn 1, and turn 2, we have 4 Badgermole Cub, 4 Bloom Tender, and 2 Bramble Familiar for our ramp. And then we also can add 2 Tam. So ideally, we want to be able to play out both the Badgermole Cub and a Bloom Tender on turn 2, or a Bloom Tender followed by another Llanowar Elf, so that we can get to Tam fast enough. So we want Tam with Bloom Tender out. If we cannot cheat out the Guildpact, because trust me, we're not getting our Leyline out turn 0, right? That's kind of the idea. But Caveros is a thing, so we have 2 Scavenging Ooze just to exile graveyards. We need that for additional help. No 3 mana cards in the deck, but we do have 4 mana in 4 Ouroboroid and 1 Celestial Archivist. We can use this to return one of our big spells, or we can use this to exile an artifact and enchantment, like a Star Cage that will lock down our whole deck. Then we have a Wistfulness for 5 mana. We have 4 Shinestrikers for 6 and 3 Aurora Awakener for 7. Now, the best part about Awakener is that it chains itself. Be a little bit careful with how you play the deck, though, because you need to tap Tam to turn any of these into all color before you cast Shinestriker or Aurora Awakener if you don't have Leyline of the Guildpact on board. Because of how Arena is programmed, you do not get a pulse. Unless you go to full control, you do not get priority between you casting a spell and you targeting something to make them all color before that creature enters. So unfortunately that's the case, so you got to be careful. I always forget that, and a lot of times I'll get punished because of it. And of course I'm trying to see what other interaction I can have. I have 2 into the Floodmaw. It's a okay interaction. You can bounce a Star Cage, you can bounce an opponent's Badgermole, you can bounce an opponent's creature that they put the Badgermole on, and the best thing is you bounce their land if they Badgermole land, right? So that's eventually could be useful, but again, Into the Floodmaw is just the interaction piece I'm trying. There's a few other counter spells that I think could serve similar purpose, but this is our whole deck list. I'm going to run all the way down to 19 lands because we got 8 mana dorks, and the whole deck is really fast aggro. So we have 4 Botanical Sanctum, 4 Breeding Pool, 4 Willowrush Verge, 4 Multiversal Passage, just to make sure that I have all the fast lands possible, and then 3 forests, because most of the deck is green. And that's the whole idea of the deck. Let's go into the game and see how well we will do. Alright, our opponent is El Caps. No cap. You go first. Can't get the Vivid on, but we do go first. So let's start from there and see where it goes. Sanctum, Llanowar Elves. Hello, how's it going? Do I want it on green or blue? Let's put this on blue. You never know. This already has green. Got Bloom Tender on. They are starting town go, so where does that go? Breeding Pool? Well, I guess it's the Reanimator. There's the Bookworm. We got 2 turns. Actually, we just have 1 turn because our opponent went first. We have this turn to win. So... Right. Ouroboroid, Bloom Tender. Everybody grows. Take 3. If he chumps, that's very good for me. He shouldn't have chumped. His only win con is to discard the card he needs and win. Now, if he just goes after the Ouroboroid, he might not have enough. He definitely could just mill the card he needs and win from there. And knowing our opponent, that's something that's very common to happen. Bound to happen, right? So I could pay freaking how much mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This only has green, huh? So I need to add blue. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could play the Shinestriker, which will give me a tap on Bloom Tender for 3 mana. Right? I think that's how it works. Yeah, I think that's how it works. So you can still get out the Ouroboroid. Does he mill the card he needs? No, he does not. Okay, so... At least we have that going for us. And GG. These just shenanigans. Alright, our opponent is... now. No later. Opponent goes first. I mean, we got the Leyline, so that's a good start. Let's see if that start takes us anywhere. Green. Llanowar Elf. Cool beans. We gotta struggle to fight through that. Llanowar Elf. We get the Bloom Tender. This costs all the mana. 2 green. Fenrir. Alright, they ramping. They be ramping. Can I draw a Badgermole? Cannot draw a Badgermole. I could make all my creature hexproof. Don't know if that's worth it. I think it's probably better to Bloom Tender here. This is how I win the game. Wish I have a Tam out, but this is what happens when our opponent goes first, right? Paw Patch Recruit. Alright, so it's not too big of a deal for that battle. Leyline Weaver is a little bit bigger of a deal. Don't like to see that. But it kind of is what it is. I can tap this to add 5 mana. So I could get an Awakener. I think Awakener is pretty useful here, right? X permanent card. Put any of those onto the battlefield. I'll do that. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say all of them. I'm gonna name green. Don't need any blue right now. We'll pay the 2 life. Alright, so right now I have an Ouroboroid. Let's... Do I want a second Ouroboroid? Do I want Tam? Double Ouroboroid is pretty good, right? 1, 2, 4, 5. Double Ouroboroid is pretty good, and I don't think he's gonna try to target my stuff, so... I would like to have a 10-10. Alright, GG. Goodbye now. Alright, our opponent is not the droid 87. I would say do the droid. And do it 87 times. Because our opponent is always going first. Yeah, the good old blue-eyed deck. Here comes the untapped land counterspell. Well, we're gonna have to fight through that. Nothing else I can do about that. But, you know. If they didn't counter this, they'll probably counter the Bloom Tender here. Do I care about them countering the Bloom Tender here? It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana next turn. That's definitely a counter spell. Let's call it a Scavenging Ooze. Alright. If they have no more lies, at least we can push damage. Spring Lotus Soul Blade. He's gonna Soul Blade or Gene Pollinator? Not what I thought the deck was. But okay. Synthesizer. Can I get a Wistfulness? We'll see. Cannot get a Wistfulness, but I can get a Bloom Tender, so it's not too bad. At least attack for 3. Spring Lotus Soul Blades again. For the Scavenging Ooze. Alright. Clay Fire Bricks. Well, we're gonna have 7... Well, we're gonna have 5 permanents enter the battlefield. Maybe 5. We'll see, but it should be something useful here. That's not what I wanted to play at all. Alright, we do have Flood Maul. I was not paying attention and cast the wrong card, but it is what it is. United Battlefront. I'm gonna have a fish. Get that back to your hand. Alright, what are you gonna snare? Maybe the Guildpact, but it's not really good at this point. I already have a whole board of cards. Maybe the Badgermoles, he's he's gonna lock down the Shinestriker. Surprising. Not a good lockdown. He's gonna sack to draw a card. What did they even exile? The Floodmaul? I'm not bringing it back. Okay, this time, let's hope I don't make the mistake again. First, let's play the Awakener. I would say all of them. Wouldn't you say all of them? Don't play the line. Hey, we do this again. It's a lot of Ouroboroids. I don't think I want to pay the life this time. And now we can draw a bunch of cards. Okay, I have a Wistfulness. Do I have a Tam out? I do have a Tam out already, so I don't want to do anything else. Let's go into our combat and just do some good old damage. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, or 9, 13. 13 plus 4 is not lethal, right? 13 plus 4 is... Well, it's not lethal is what it is. So, do we even go in for this damage? You know what? Let's go in for this damage. Bring him down to 6. I could bring out a Wistfulness. I don't think I will. I think what I will do is, this will be adding 3 green, so I can put out a Bramble Familiar. And then a Llanowar Elves. No, I do have an extra mana. Did not remember to have that extra mana. I could have brought out Scavenging Ooze, maybe? Who knows? Alright, UB again. What are they going to hit this time? Because there are 2 Ouroboroids. Pinnacle Star Cage. Twice. I mean, you don't lock down the Ouroboroid, so... The board is still pretty big here. Okay. GG. Stupid United Battlefront deck. Eat it. Alright, our opponent is Robot WZ. Roboto. But though we go first. Shinestriker is kind of pointless, but Badgermole Cub maybe help us get there. It's not great. Not much value here so far. But into the Floodmaul could help. Leyline Vanguard. Tammy McTemerson. That really helps. Let's get Tammy McTemerson out. One more mana, though. I do need one more mana. Shelter by Ghosts. Alright, they're going to shelter by Badgermole. We have exactly 3 mana. So... bounce the Vanguard. We'll pay the mana. It'll go away. Get a Badgermole again. And next turn we'll have enough to do our thing. Let's protect our creature. Halia. Do they want to shelter again? They can't shelter with this. They will gain 2 life. Essence Channeler. They'll gain 2 more life. And draw a card. That's pretty good. It's a little slow. Okay, I could return a card. I don't have any cards to return. So let's make our Badgermole hexproof on all colors. Right? It's not the greatest, but at the very least, this will draw us 5 cards. You drew 1, I draw 5. After drawing 5 cards, I got 1 land, and it's not even a good land. I don't know. I mean, do I only have 3 lands? Well, I only have 3 lands. Will they block this Badgermole? No way they block this Badgermole. Right? Yeah, no way they block it. Stop them from gaining too much life for the time being. They're gonna gain 2 life here. And perhaps 2 more. Or actually 4 more. There's a lot of life that they're gaining. This is an 8-7. I think we chump here. Oh, that's actually a lot more than I thought it would be. Yeah, let's chump. It only grows more, right? Is chumping here the right idea? I don't want to take that much damage. So, we could stack the Badgermoles on top of each other like crazy. Seems hilarious, you know. I do not hate that plan. Now the problem is, do I want to Archivist here just to bring back the Shinestriker? Maybe I do. So I want to cast this. This will be all my mana though. Blue. Blue. Let's draw 5 cards still. I got 2 green and 1 blue. I could use the 2 green. Oh, I forgot to use Tam. Oh, that was my mistake. I got 2 green I can use to exile the Leyline. I kind of need to do that here. Right. Then we'll go on to the next turn and not take 1,000,000,000 damage. We do have a lot of mana. We can even Bramble Familiar to hit something. Exemplar of Light is pretty good. For them, that is. Seven, 6. Runelooker back. It's 8-7 again. This time, do we just take the 8 damage? Might be prudent just to take that 8 damage. It was 9 damage. Again, it might be prudent just to take this damage. I don't know how long I can survive. This doesn't have reach. None of these have reach. So I'm gonna take that one big hit. Yep. I guess that is what it is. Let's cast a Bramble Familiar and get out our Aurora Awakener. Ah, I forgot again. Make this all color. I don't think it matters which one I make all color. Shinestriker. Can play the Aurora Awakener again. But he does have multiple flyers coming at me. So would it be better to have an Ouroboroid? I could hit 2. You know. I do hit 2. Oh boy. Now I already played a land, so I cannot play another land. But I could play the Bramble Familiar, or I could play the Bloom Tender. I have a mana open, so I can play all the way up to 3 mana worth of cards. I assume we play the Scavenging Ooze. That give me an exile that potentially allows me to gain something here. So attack for 6. The only attacker I can have. I want to keep those Badgermoles. Down to 25. They don't have that crazy buff right now. Also, the Innocent Channeler doesn't fly. Why didn't I just jump? He didn't lose life. Banishing Light. What are you going to banish? One of my flyers. Leyline Vanguard? Yeah, I mean... Wait, he didn't lose life. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. He didn't lose any life. I have a flying blocker. That's the Chandler. Again, he didn't lose any life. I have flying blockers. You kind of just need to not die this turn, right? Yeah. I just... Shambles! Just in shambles. Alright, our opponent is... From Axie? Jeez. Alright. I think I just summoned the devil. Opponent goes first. Got Bloom Tender, but... Kinda slow. Turn 1. Nothing. I too have a turn 1. Nothing. Green-white. Does that mean I'm safe to have... Well, I was going to say, does that mean I'm safe to have Bloom Tender out? Immediately destroyed. Alright. Well, I'm still going to have my Bloom Tender out. Because I like the ramp. Okay. I could play 2 things. I think I do that. Pro green. Pro green and blue. And GG. Well, that was a game. Heritage Reclamation my ass. Alright, our opponent is... Vandil. Dill. He is the mighty Vandil. We go first. 2 Leylines. 2 is more than 1. Don't want to risk it. The last time this happened, this didn't work. But this is land of any type, right? So that means it could add a white. I don't know what happened. It's not land permanent. It controls all colors. Yeah, doesn't that mean it's all everything? What the heck? Oh. I don't know. They got Universal Passage. They're going to pass their turn. So we're going to have to put this on full control. Because what I want to do is... resolve. Target my Willowrush Verge. Okay. I guess I want to target my lands. I don't really want them to target this land. Did this go through? Okay, now I can turn off full control mode. Because it went through. I'm going to attack for 2. Changeling! Block my Llanowar Elf. Okay. I don't know if that's necessarily going to save you. Add 1 mana of any color. That's another Leyline of the Guildpact. Let's bring him down to 1. Bring him down to 2. Okay, GG. I guess that was a game. 3 Leyline on the Guildpact game. I didn't even need the Guildpacts. But here we are. Alright, our opponent is Fargrim. Seasoned Fargrim. We go first. We do get double Leyline again. Hilarious. Alright, Gene Pollinator, go. Blue mana. Storm Chaser's Talon. I will need another mana somehow. I would say a blue tender is a pretty good way to get another mana. So we have currently, a lot of mana. But our Bloom Tender is probably not going to live, so I'm expecting maybe 5 mana, 4 mana. No blocks. Maybe 5 mana? I don't know. We're going to draw a card? Come on. Just 1? You got to draw like 5 cards to keep up with my pacing. There's 5 cards. Alright, well then we can play this. I have 1, 2, 3 mana, which means that if I pull out 10, I will have 2 more mana left. I want to throw out another Bloom Tender here for good measure. Yeah, I think I do. Here's Tamiel. Now let's also put out the Bloom Tender. All of our creatures are super hexproof. They have to kill 10 to get through the first layer of hexproofing. And they leave. Cool. That's a game. Alright, our opponent is Hyrule Eternal Taskmaster. What is that? What is that in relations to? I don't know. This hand is... It's something. We got a lot of ramp. Ramp into nothing, but we got a lot of ramp. Hope I draw something that's not a land, right? That's pretty much it. If I can draw something that's not a land, we get somewhere. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Seam ripped back to back. Not a little late for Lenny here. Give Mr. Tam. We'll give Mr. Llanowar Elf. Wonder Weave Aerialist with double Seam Rip. Alright. If I bounce 1, do I have 2 green? I think I will. I don't think I have a protection against that. What? Every basic land type in addition to... I'm confused. This is a basic land type, right? Is this bugged out? Lands you control are every basic land type. Won't let me add blue. I guess I can't attack. I don't know what just happened there. Seam Rip. On. I don't know. to become all colors for a second. Yeah, I mean, like, I can't play this game. Alright, our opponent is Raggy. Raggedy Rag. We go first. It's cool to have Leyline always into nothing, or nothing that definitely would need a Leyline for. Do I even want this Leyline? It's potentially better than a land anyways. Blood Crib! Yay! You my creature bolted turn 1. What the heck is this card? This creature can block. When this creature attacks, destroy target creature. Behold a Goblin. I'm not risking it. What does this do? When a creature dies, destroy target creature and opponent control power 2 or less. Burn out Bastronaut after the attack? Cool. Not even gonna try. Ouroboroid is pretty good. Enters, you may blight 1. You do. Alright, let's not let him blight 1. Let's bounce this creature back to your hand. Blight your own burnout if you want. Alright, I did lose that 1 life. It's pretty painful. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't do it, not enough mana. So, wait this for 5, 6. And with our Ouroboroid do its thing. And we charge. Didn't block. Oh, just gonna leave. Alright, GG. I guess that's a game. Alright, our opponent is ballin'. He is ballin'. We're gonna go first. So 1 lender, but a 1 lender with a Leyline. I will submit that it's a pretty good 1 lander. White. Scav. Alright. Guess we'll play the Bloom Tender here. I don't actually know if this is good enough because we get Shelter, we kind of still lose. Right? Yeah. It is what it is. If I actually get Sheltered here, can I even stop that? Get a Wistfulness. Maybe? No, it's a Seam Rip. On my Bloom Tender. I cannot imagine a world where you don't target the Bloom Tender. Does he have 2 of them? What the I don't have words for what our opponent is doing, but suffice to say it was dumb. Right? This is the best word I can put, is that is dumb. The Llanowar Elf. We could get the Tamao next turn, if that's gonna do much. Scavenger, Scavenger. Would you like to attack? No attacks. Okay. Well, do this again. Alright, it's better than anything else I got. And also Bramble Familiar for 7. Will that give me anything good? I do want a Tam, so that's 2 mana, definitely. So that means... I Shinestriker. Alright, fine. Double Strike. I think those are good cards. Just my opinion. Wait alive. What I want to do is get the Shine, get the Tam out here. That way I get hexproof. Don't need to rush. No end of turn. I gotta discard 3 cards. 1, 2. No, keep the Llanowar Elf. 2. The third Leyline? The second Leyline, I mean? Yeah, I don't need another Leyline. Are they gonna do anything? They're just gonna pass turn? Hope for the best? They might shelter and then flood maul, right? Feathered fly. You can do that. I already fly. Post combat is fun. Hilarious play here. Veteran survivor. Alright. Do I do that right now? I can't stop a shelter. Well, I can't really shelter much of what I have. So. Do I get the Aurora Awakener? Alright, that's 5 permanents immediately into play. 2, oh, G. I don't know what they're trying to do with their deck, but that Seam Rip on not the Bloom Tender just cost them the game. Idiot. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you see all those games, how does this Simic Vivid deck feel? I'm gonna admit, today was very frustrating. I've never Leyline turned 0 in, the first 20 games I played, and I keep losing because I go second every game. I can't get these 1-drops out. I have to keep fine-tuning the deck, and the worst thing is every one of our opponent has been board wipe deck. So we're not haste, and there's a lot of board wipe decks out there in standard. So this kind of deck is a little bit more difficult to play than I thought. Now, of course, I had to tech in Scavenging Ooze midway through the games because I gotta fight the Mr. Cavaros, the superior Spider-Man shenanigans, and that kind of took some slots in this deck. And I do think that every other card is pretty useful. Now, the only addition I would say that you would cut is into the Flood Maul. It's a good card, don't get me wrong, and if you like it, you can keep it. But I think a lot of times the Web Slinging card is better. What is that called again? The Tech Intrusion. This card would have been a lot better in almost every scenario because I got to counter a board wipe, right? I got to counter their Day of Judgments, and I've lost so often to Day of Judgments. That's 100% what we needed. And the last thing you got to watch out for is arena bugs, right? Like I said, the programmers don't know how to program this deck. So I had Leyline out, I had my Multiversal Passage, could not tap for a blue and lost that game. So I left it here, but you can see how frustrating it is to play a game where you did everything right, but the code is wrong, and then you lose the game that way as well. I think that's what happened, but let me know if I'm wrong, but that's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.